Have you ever felt like the mysterious world of psychic events held your attention? As I learn more about this complicated topic, I often think about the fine line between the fact that it exists and the risks that it might pose. Like many of you, I've come to realize that the way psychic phenomena are portrayed in the media often leads to a lot of confusion and misunderstanding. This is similar to how nuclear research and TV are demonstrated. Doesn't it seem strange that something so vague can have such a real effect on our lives? People have always been interested in the mysterious world of psychic phenomena, which has drawn us into its depths. Being interested in this makes me think of the deep insights of Manly P. Hall, a scholar who approached this difficult subject with a unique mix of doubt and openness. Hull wrote a lot of books, like The Secret Teachings of All Ages, and many of them talked about how important discernment is for understanding psychic phenomena. He thought it was a field full of spiritual growth opportunities, but also full of risks of being misunderstood and used in the wrong way. As I look into the changing interest in this topic, especially its rise to fame in the early 20th century and its recent comeback, I'm reminded of Hall's view on how people seek knowledge in the face of uncertainty. In the same way that Carl Jung said it was hard to live a healthy life when there were mysteries going on around you, Hall thought that our journey through life is often linked to things we can't explain. This linking brings up important questions about how we understand and use these experiences in our everyday lives. In a world where psychic phenomena are both feared and revered, how can we tell the difference between reality and illusion? The way telepathic events are portrayed in books and movies often mixes fiction and reality, which can make viewers think that one is real and the other is not. This observation makes me wonder how we can tell the difference between real and fake psychic events in a world full of them. Think about this topic and how this has been a part of human culture since the beginning of time. However, they can also be very dangerous. While its enigmatic nature undoubtedly helped spiritual beliefs and cultural development, it has also presented certain risks. Even though they cautioned against its possible dangers, revered historical figures like Pythagoras admitted to clairvoyant events, and from a historical point of view, this brings up an important question. How can we tell the difference between real psychic events and fakey ones? The problem is made even harder by the fact that not even real psychics can promise supernatural events when asked to. Also, it's less likely that some psychic experiences, like psychometry, where memories and personal experiences come from within, are made up. This personal aspect shows that we are slowly developing extrasensory abilities that were dormant inside us. But how can we use these abilities in a good way? There are ways to understand these things through religious and philosophical systems, especially in Eastern traditions and Christian mysticism. But it's important to look at why people are interested in psychic experiences. Most of the time, they are people who have lost someone or want to confirm their faith in life after death. They really want to believe, but they don't know how to think critically. So they are easy to trick. Some of these experiences aren't caused by things outside of the person having them. They come from things inside the person, like dreams or automatic responses in the subconscious. People build whole belief systems around these experiences. These are not the same as archetypal dreams, though, because those don't usually lead to psychic things. So I ask you, my readers, how can we be curious and careful in this mysterious world? The answer lies in our never-ending search for information and understanding. When an archetypal dream comes up from the depths of our subconscious, it wants to be recognized and is a very important way to learn. It's our inner teacher speaking up. A lot of the psychic phenomena we see, though, are caused by hallucinations, which people have when they really want to believe in something that isn't true, likely, or good for them, because this happens all the time. It can cause psychic problems that are very hard to solve. If someone thinks they've had a spiritual experience, it will be very hard to change their mind. This belief gets stronger than any advice or counseling that makes sense. Helping people in these situations is pretty much pointless if they aren't willing to be honest about their own experiences. A lot of people say that their psychic experiences have led them to a certain ministry or purpose. But why are they the ones who were picked? What makes them fit for such a huge responsibility? It's surprising that uncertainty is the most common answer. Because this is a very important job, we would only hire someone with the right skills and experience. Similarly, we would think that supernatural forces would pick someone for a spiritual mission based on how well they could do it. But when asked, a lot of people can't explain why they think they were picked for these jobs. This usually makes people think that their beliefs come from wishful thinking or a desire to stand out in society. As time goes on, more and more people are joining groups or communities that say they are experts in psychic research. These groups often say they can improve or develop extrasensory perceptions through different activities. But this can be a problem when leaders who aren't very good at what they're doing mislead their followers, or even worse, demand complete obedience without saying who they are or what they want. This blind devotion to authorities you don't know is not only stupid, it could also be dangerous. Psychic phenomena being sold for money makes things even more complicated. A lot of the things that people do, like starting groups, writing books and making media content, are done for money, rather than to really find out what life is all about. It is safer and more secure to work with groups that have been around for a long time, have a good reputation, and were founded on principles that are accepted by most people. It is more likely that an organization is real if it has roots in one of the major world systems of spiritual revelation. However, it is important to question the source of authority when it comes to strange claims or revelations. As Confucius said, get wisdom from people whose knowledge has been used for hundreds of years, and don't blindly trust sources you don't know about. When we get messages from people we don't know that are often shrouded in mystery and offer crazy explanations, we need to be extra careful. The problem comes up when we really sincerely and with faith and belief get involved in systems that claim to help us grow spiritually or personally. With their development plans and enticing promises, these systems lead us to learn more about ourselves. But the important question still stands. Does this path really lead to personal growth? It's important to keep a close eye on how the disciplines, doctrines, exercises, and meditations that are suggested affect our lives as we do them. Are we really becoming better people, getting to know our families better and being better citizens? Or are we just collecting abstract ideas that don't have any real-world uses, which gives us a false sense of growth? These kinds of paths often lead to pain, trouble sleeping, strange feelings and visions that make you feel disconnected from reality. It's a strange irony that someone might think they can explore other planes of existence, but have a hard time with the smallest things in their daily life. This difference makes me wonder if this kind of psychic development is real and useful. People get caught up in a web of beliefs when they learn and follow teachings that can't be proven beyond accepting them without question. Over time, this process creates an alter ego, a psychic delusion inside them that makes them believe that these ideas from the outside are important. This leads to a cycle of arrogance and disappointment that feeds itself. People often refuse to accept that the things they do might be hurting themselves when they are told that. Instead, they look for approval in other places. You can find a way to really know and understand things by studying the teachings of old wise people and major religions. You don't have to be a secret member to get this information. The written works of the founders of Hinduism, Buddhism, Zen, Kabbalah, Greek mysteries, and ancient astrological knowledge can be used to learn about these religions. There is a more reliable and safer way to reach enlightenment that is based on these teachings that have stood the test of time. Psychological phenomena include things like possession and obsession, which are usually inner struggles rather than effects of outside forces. I can't stress enough how dangerous it is for people to go into self-hypnosis and live in a fantasy they make up. When people are in these kinds of states, they might see or believe things that aren't true, mixing up fantasy with reality. On the other hand, this journey is full of danger. If your spiritual practices start to make you feel bad, get in the way of your family life, or hurt your health, it's time to think about them again. Your health should get better as you grow spiritually, not worse. It should make you feel more normal, not more like you should be doing strange things. It's important to stop and reevaluate when disciplines start to have bad effects. Talk to the leaders of the group, but be careful. They might not know the answers, especially if they don't know as much as the people who follow them. On this journey, we need to use both science and philosophy to tell the difference between what is real and what is not, so we don't fall for sensationalism and superstition. If you're still with me, I extend my gratitude for your presence. Consider subscribing to our channel, and remember, I hope that your life is filled with prosperity and happiness to the fullest extent possible. I wish you a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.